Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. That is, if you are coming back, and if you're brand new, welcome. Yay. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you found me. My goal is to give you the heads up on movie making quality as well as content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend your time and money watching a specific movie. You can also find me on Instagram at Movie Review Mom and on Facebook at Movie Review Mom, where I have lots of contests. In fact, I've got a contest going on right now. So you can go onto the Facebook group and see what some of the prizes are. Some of them are hilarious, like a beef jerky flower bouquet, which is from the Manly Man Company. And a bunch of other prizes. Anyway, thanks for joining me. And by the way, be sure and click on that little bell and it'll notify you every time I upload a new movie review, which is almost every single day. It's summertime and the summer blockbusters are out. This movie that I'm reviewing today is called Werewolves Within. And honestly, I think it would have been great to have this one launch during Halloween, the month of October. But here it is. It is now available in theaters as well as on video on demand. It's rated R and it's an hour and 37 minutes. I'll give you my Movie Review Mom grade at the end of my review. But first, in a nutshell, this horror comedy is based on a video game called Werewolves Within on PlayStation as a VR game. I've never played it, so I actually had no expectations at all. It's directed by Josh Rubin and will make you laugh and cringe all at the same time. The director stated, quote, "I grew up near the same small town where we shot Werewolves Within. As a kid, I'd freak myself out, making up monster stories, running through the woods, pretending I was Chief Brody, fighting creatures in the brush. I loved Jaws." And he just says he loves horror. Then he continues and he says that hometown experience where neighbors knew your business, whether you liked it or not, is so much of what makes werewolves so personal. And it is. But as much as I love horror movies, nothing scares me more than people. And as much as this movie is an homage to my love for Hot Fuzz, the Coen brothers, and arachnophobia, it's also about the monster in all of us. End quote. And I think that last sentence there really summarizes the meat of this movie. So here's the story synopsis that the studio gave me. It says, after a proposed pipeline creates divisions within the small town of Beaverfield and a snowstorm traps its residents together inside the local inn, newly arrived forest ranger Finn, played by Sam Richardson, and postal worker Cecily, played by Milana Weintraub, must try to keep the peace and uncover the truth behind a mysterious creature that has begun terrorizing the community. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so there were a lot of things I really liked about this movie. First of all, the first thing you see is a lovely quote by Mr. Rogers, from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but it's with super creepy music playing over it, letting you know that this film is going to be very different with a unique sense of humor. There's a Papillon dog in the movie, so that also instantly caught my interest. I used to have a little Papillon dog until he passed away, but he was such a great dog and a great pet, and he's just beautiful. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the film. Back to the film. All of the characters are clearly defined and hilarious. The entire cast, I think, did an excellent job. And like I said, it features Sam Richardson, most known from Veep. Season 4 is when he started. The cast also includes the lovely Milana Weintraub, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she made me laugh out loud many times. She's got some really good lines and facial expressions. And did you know that she was actually born in Uzbekistan? Like, that's amazing. She began her career making YouTube videos with over 11 million views. That's amazing. She then turned her content into an MTV pilot, and the rest is history. Now she's a movie star. So you go, girl. That's awesome. The rest of the small ensemble includes George Basil, Sarah Burns, Michael Chernus, Catherine Curtin, Wayne Duvall, who appears in 3 movies this year alone, busy guy, Harvey Gillen, Rebecca Henderson, Cheyenne Jackson, whose character's last name is Wolfson, because the movie's about a wolf, Michaela Watkins, Glenn Fleshler, Patrick Walsh, and Annie Kruger. So it sounded like a lot of names, but it really is a small ensemble of a cast. Some of the dialogue is super funny and even insightful in moments. There's a lot of subtle political and social commentary within the script. The musical score of Werewolves Within is actually really nice and funny at times. Listen for the lyrics. It's also really fun to watch the characters try to figure out what's going on, first of all, and then who might be the werewolf. The mystery and the humor will provide sufficient excuse for second viewing for a lot of audiences. Once you know the end of the story, you're going to want to go back and kind of watch how things unfolded to see if they make sense. So there were some things that I didn't like, even amidst all of that good stuff. First of all, there's a lot of forced exposition at the end to try to explain everything so that you don't see the plot holes that do exist in the story. Some viewers might also be offended by the political humor and also the cliched characters and the social commentary. Let me give you some tips for parents because it is a rated R film. There is some profanity and a lot of F-bombs and crude gestures. There are images of dead, bloodied bodies. Someone's hand gets shot off, for example. There's knives and guns. There's a homosexual couple who are hilarious. There's talk of infidelity and violence. So it is in the horror genre. Some positive themes that are illustrated well in the movie are be a good neighbor, and that comes through very loud and clear. Community, fear, greed, and trust. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines so you can get a flavor of the movie. And I have them all written down on my website, moviereviewmom.com. So you can run over there and check out my full review. But I'll share just a couple of them with you right now. So there's one of the guys in this homosexual couple is Latino, and somebody's like, we just got a Mexican standoff here. And he's like, hey, don't say Mexican, just standoff. I just thought was funny. And then actually, and I'll tell you this other funny line. There's this lady and someone's accusing her of doing something. And she's like, first of all, that was 4 years ago and it never happened. Some of these characters are just funny, I thought. And then the theme, really the largest theme of the whole movie, which it's awesome to have a theme in a horror movie other than look out, you know. The theme is be a good neighbor like Mr. Rogers. Now, actually, now that I say that out loud, it would have been interesting to have a character whose name was Mr. Rogers too, but it's referring to, you know, Mr. Rogers from the Mr. Rogers neighborhood, who was an incredible man. And I highly recommend you watch that Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood movie with Tom Hanks in it. I've got another movie recommendation that's more like this one that I'll tell you in just a minute, but I just wanted to mention that before I forgot it. So you want to know what movie review mom grade I'm giving this? I was entertained, and the movie is flawed, but it still made me laugh, and I thought it was pretty clever. And so I'm giving it a B+. I think you'll get a kick out of it. And before we go, let me give you a recommendation for another movie that instantly came to my mind as I watched this. That's also very, very good, and even got some Oscar buzz going on around it when it came out. It's called Knives Out. It also offers an ensemble cast and a mystery. There's some blood involved and some crazy characters. And so I think you'll really enjoy that one too. All right, that's it for my movie review. Thank you again for supporting me by just simply liking this video and subscribing. That helps my channel to grow, and it spreads YouTube juice all over my channel. I appreciate that. All right, until the next time, bye for now.